Welcome to my video of Selfie 2025. Alright, I started using these pens, which I got in Viviva Colors. This is what I did the first day with the pens. Now using the Viviva Colorfolds, which they sent to me. Let's see how this plays out. Starting off, I mixed some of the yellow in a spray tube and some of the orange and also the neon yellow in a tray. Trying to spray the color on for the first time. I thought it was a pretty good idea. As you can see, I taped out most of the painting and dab a little here. Add a little more of the neon yellow. I really like that neon yellow. It's really, really bright. Alright, pulling off the tape, gonna blend it in a bit. And then I'm gonna go in with some plastic to pull some lines into the uncoated area and make it seem more like a burst from a candle or the light from a candle. At least that was the main goal with this. Next off, I'm gonna work on the tunic. I'm going to use the velvet red there, and I'm working on the tunic, trying to do a more pure red color for that. You'll see. Got to do some dabs. This color is very vibrant, very, very vibrant. It is a good solid color. Which is very good to use. I really can picture the roses. I really have an idea of doing some flowers in the future, but that's not normally my forte, even though I've done it before in paintings. Alright, the tunic is pretty much done. Now it's time to work on the cloak. Now this is a photograph I use on most of my profiles that I took with my phone, a selfie, but oh, whoops, I'm gonna work on the cross. I forgot about I did the cross first. First off, I'm using some of the neon yellow, then I'm gonna go in with some beige, add some beige into it. As you see, I made a color chip there. Go in with the beige, give a little more depth on the cross. Still working on a little more depth. Alright, I think I pretty much got the cross at the moment. Now, that is some of the velvet red mixed with some of the lilac, because the cloak I wore for it is mainly burgundy, and if you combine those two colors, you get a nice burgundy. Of course, I'm dabbing it off a good bit because I want it more subtle, and then I want to do depth to it later, but you'll see me do that in the future. Okay. Mainly the base coat of the cloak is done. I want to use some water on a tissue, blend it out a little bit more right there, and get it a little more of a subtle blend into the candlelight. But Still got to add some depth to it. Okay, I'm liking that. I think it's time to go to the face. Do the flesh color. I'm not sure if I used the beige the first time, but I think this is the beige, and maybe I used some of the porcelain the first time. But I'm using the beige now to try to do a flesh color. Give it a little more humanistic look. And little dab. I want to make sure that cheekbone stands out. Even though I don't have too much of a cheek, you get the point. It's a human factor. Alright, that color looks pretty good. I think I got to go back in a little more with some of the walnut, which you will see me do in a second. And I add a little more depth to it. And going back into the cloak here for a little bit. Gonna dab. Okay. Now is when I'm still working on the face. As you see, I used the tray on the side. I put some water in it, and then I mix in the other color, or the color from the color chip. So I have a very even color I'm working with the whole time. And I noticed from working with the color sheets that the color you use may vary depending on how much water you use. But if you create the solution at first, you know how much to work with in the future. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Just a few touch-ups. Okay, at this point my camera stopped working, so I kept going and moved on to the next day after a long nap. Those are the pens I was using in the beginning. I mentioned first you get them with Viviva. You get them in Viviva travel kits, but I sought out the pens and got myself a pack of 8, which is all different size tips, and I found these pens work amazing, especially with this painting I was doing. They don't blend with the watercolors, and they do a nice fine or thick line if you need. And they weren't that expensive. I think for the pack of 8, it was about 16 to 18 US dollars. Which for art supplies is a good price. Art supplies are very pricey. Alright. Now I'm going with the colored pencils. If you look behind on the left on the floor, that's my colored pencil box, and it has a very wide variety, even more broader than the rainbow, and it gives me many possibilities. Right now I'm working with a brown. I don't remember the exact name of the color brown I'm using, but it's more of like a neutral darker brown, and I do a lot of accents with this. I really don't want to go too much on with the extended day I'm doing right now. I want this to mainly be the watercolors, but with me, always got to do a little more to touch it up just a little bit. Okay, chain smoking, not sure what I'm going to do at the moment. Just a little touch here and a little touch there. It continues for a little while, me doing that. And I do go grab some more colored pencils in a second to do a little more depth. And as you can see in the front right bottom, I did add a little more watercolor to the top right of the painting to give it a little more depth in the background than I did after the camera stopped working. Gray, the total gray, or ash I think it's called in the pack, needed just a little more complexity or color. Alright, going for, I believe it's gray right now. And it's not pure gray, it actually has a little lilac mixed into it. To go with the lilac I put into the cloak to bring it out a little more. And I don't think I do too much more to this. A little more pen at the end, just a little accents to try to create a little more depth. But this I wasn't going for perfection with. I was trying to get the basic idea of the selfie I took that I use for my profiles. Alright, here we go. Finalized thing. And the music in this video I made myself. We'll see how it turns out. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But thank you for watching, and please watch more.